Now, are you ready to relax? Keep laughing, keep trying to welcome to stage is Frazer!
Hey, how you doing? 4 words out of my mouth and you already know where I'm from, right? But despite the New York accent, I have the honor of teaching about the Scottish Enlightenment at the University of Glasgow. You can woo, you can woo. Now you may ask yourself, what's a Jewish guy from the Bronx doing in Scotland teaching Scottish people about their own greatest intellectual achievements? Well, in the Bronx, we have a traditional way to respond to questions like that. Fuck you. I'll teach whatever I want to fucking teach. And what I want to fucking teach is David fucking Hume, Adam fucking Smith, and if I'm feeling particularly frisky, a little Francis fucking Hutchison. Got a problem with that? Forget about it. Now, I actually became obsessed with Adam Smith and David Hume long before I ever set foot in Scotland. I actually was lucky enough to read Hume for the first time in high school. It was an amazing school with lots of what they call active learning. Now, those of us in the ed business, whether it's higher ed, lower ed, middle ed, those of us in the ed biz do sometimes get a little sick of all this emphasis on active learning. As far as I can tell, active learning was invented by our laziest colleagues, who basically decided that they didn't want to do any more teaching, so they were going to just let the students teach themselves. You know, so like if we were running this evening according to principles of active learning, I'd make you all turn around to each other in groups of 4 and tell each other jokes for the next 10 minutes while I just wandered around making sure you weren't looking at your phones. I'm not going to do that, don't worry. Maybe I will. But when active learning works well, it can change lives. Certainly changed mine. My fate was sealed when in a European history class, we learned about the Enlightenment, not by reading a textbook or listening to a lecture, but by holding an Enlightenment salon. We were each assigned an Enlightenment philosopher that we had to research and pretend to be, and we rolled up our trouser legs. I was about to say we rolled up our pants, but I've learned the hard way. That means something very different here. We didn't roll up our pants. Wasn't a Catholic school. We rolled up our trousers, looked like breeches, and we each pretended to be our chosen Enlightenment philosopher. And I've basically been doing the same thing ever since. What first made me so excited about Hume was his critique of religion. You see, I was undergoing something of a crisis of faith at the time. I was wrestling with the deep theological question that has always faced, for millennia, faced fat Jews, which was the question of how an all-powerful, all-knowing, just, and benevolent God could create something as delicious as bacon and command his chosen people not to eat it. But Hume taught me that there are good philosophical reasons for doubting the authority of Scripture and for rejecting that command. I have him to thank for all the bacon I've eaten ever since. And not just the bacon, the shellfish, the cheeseburgers, and since I moved here, those square sausages. Oh, divine things, those square sausages. See, active learning can change lives. It can expand minds and expand waistlines. And it wasn't just in European history class, right? We used basically the same technique in American history class, where we rolled up our trousers, not our pants, our trousers, and we staged an American Constitutional Convention. And I had the part in that one of Alexander Hamilton. Now, true story, there was a kid a couple of years younger than me at my school named Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not lying. I'm quoted in his new biography. You can look it up. And he knew that when it was his turn to play Hamilton, he could never do better than I did. And he actually wrote the first draft of Hamilton in high school as a musical because he knew he could only top me by singing, really. But none of us, so I was in the room where it happened. But I didn't think much of anything of it at the time. None of us did. We were all writing historical musicals. It's a great form of active learning. So like in that European history class, a couple of months after the Enlightenment Salon, my friends and I wrote a full-length musical history of World War II. We knew we weren't as good at writing tunes as Lynn was, so instead of writing original music, we set our songs to Beatles songs. Started with the title song. When things were looking bad, so bad for Germany, a brand new face arose in the NSDAP. 1,000,000 marks, a meager loaf of bread to buy. Oh, was awry, it made me cry, the Treaty of Versailles. Heil him, and he said that he'll help out and save our country from this sorry rout. Heil him and the treaty he will flout. Oh, won't you please, please heil him? Went on from there. Heil, or The Hard Day's Kristallnacht, went on for hours. Hitler's rise and eventual downfall. Stalingrad. Although I had twice the troops that Stalin had, what happened there made Stalin glad. Oh, things went bad at Stalingrad. Suddenly, my army's half the size it used to be. Whatever happened to neutrality? Oh, Stalingrad went horribly. Why it had to snow, I don't know. All hope was gone when I didn't learn a thing from Napoleon. Stalingrad. You get the idea. There's only one small problem. You can't tell the history of World War II and not tell the story of the Holocaust. This created issues. Our teacher loved Stalingrad, but she took some issue with our song about the final solution. Hey, you see what's coming. Hey, Jew. I won't go on. It's a bad song. Can't make it better. Not gonna sing it for you. Not gonna sing, hey Jew. Not gonna, come on everybody, sing it for you. Not gonna sing, hey Jew. It's not so bad. I'm not asking you to sing the offensive song I wrote in high school. I'm asking you to sing a different song I wrote this week about not singing the song from high school, okay? Not gonna sing it for you. Not gonna sing, hey Jew. Oh, shameful. We got the scolding we deserved. I tried a sort of Mel Brooks defense. I told the teacher that Jews always process their deep intergenerational trauma through comedy. She wasn't buying it. Really, the only excuse was I was just 17. You know what I mean. Writing musicals. Ended then and there. So Lynn ended up rich and famous. Woo! And I ended up standing here. So, it it hurts sometimes that I didn't get my Tony last night. But I want to thank you all for helping me deal with my failure to become a Broadway star the Jewish way, through comedy. So thank you all so much. Now get into groups of 4 and tell each other the most offensive Holocaust jokes you can for the next 5 minutes. Thanks so much.